Greetings, everyone. Welcome to week 5 of the Critical Thinking in Science and Technology course. I am your instructor, KJ Smith. Wanted to kind of give you a brief overview reading for week 5. Let's start. At the beginning of your home page, you should have something similar to this. At the top, you should have week 5 Intelligent Design Issue 2 in your textbook. So yes, if you don't have your textbook by now, you definitely need it for this week's activity. So make sure you make whatever arrangements you need to make in order to complete the work assignments, primarily for the think, seek, but for sure for the do assignment. You definitely need it for the do assignment. The others you may be able to fake and shake. If you don't have it, borrow it from a friend. And I don't want to encourage you to turn in work late because, particularly for this week's activities, especially the think activity, and we're going to review that in a second, um, everyone has to participate in order for everyone to properly receive credit for it. So the sooner you respond, the sooner there others can respond, and etc. Because that'll make more sense in a minute. So let's just start. Let's go over to the read assignment because as usual, should always go to the read first. When you get to the read assignment, you'll find everything that you need, and it says read all the way down to the bottom. Overview, this assignment, you're going to be using all of your skills for critically thinking and seeking, doing, and of course reflecting at the end of the month. End of this the exercise. The textbook, a brief overview. There are two articles, a yes and a no article. You need to read both yes and the no article in order to receive credit for it. So read both the yes and the no articles. Don't read just one, read them both. That'll make more sense. And again, in case you need it, it's Taking Sides, Science and Technology, and we're going to do issue 2. Make sure you have your textbook. I think it's the 9th edition expanded. I also want to point out we really are focusing on netiquette because this could be somewhat considered a controversial issue. So I want to make sure that everyone, when you're responding inside of the different forums and giving your opinions and your thoughts as well as being objective, that you follow the netiquette as we specified, or internet netiquette, internet etiquette. I'll show you some of the links in a second. But be on your best online behavior or netiquette behavior. The think form, we're going to do a bit of role playing. You're going to be assigned a particular task, and you're going to be assigned 4 roles. I'll go over that in a few seconds, but make sure before you complete this task, you have to adopt all 4 roles in order to get complete points for the assignment. Seek assignment is real simple. I just want you to simply identify a online resource, an article or something, and I want you to post it and maybe write a couple of sentences on it just as a background. So you have to cite your references that you're going to use. It's simple enough, but I want to expand our database or excess of different articles on intelligent design. So you can't necessarily repeat someone else's article. You have to be paying attention and only post an article that has not been posted yet. And you can't use the one that I use, which is anything from the intelligent design link. After the seek assignment, of course, is to do. This is where it's really important. You have to use your issue or article review paper format. Let me see if I can go back and find that for you. In case you haven't, you can go down to week 1. You go into week 1, the seek assignment where it says downloads. You're going to go to number 2, the issue review paper. Sometimes it's called article review paper. You're going to click here. It's going to download whatever your download is, and it should pop up. This is what you're using. You have to answer all of these questions. Notice the first 3 questions is pretty much what you had to answer for last week, week 4's, I believe, do assignment. Though I had an extra question, I'm thinking about expanding it later. You still can simply take your first answer from last week and be able to prepare and replace your answer with this one. Try your best to be objective. You need to answer the questions. Not give your opinion on a topic, but answer the questions. That's one thing that I did note last week that this kind of bothers me a little bit. You need to be objective. I didn't ask you to tell me how you feel about intelligent design. It's why is the issue controversial? Why is the issue important to society, to science and societies? And why is the issue important to society? Those are the 3 questions that you're supposed to answer for this particular assignment. But of course, you have to answer all of it. Part 1, question 2. Notice question 2 is for the yes argument. You have to answer all of the questions. Question 3 is for the no article. You have to answer all 3 questions. Number 4, you can always, if you go and do the research in your online article, then you're already prepared to answer question 4, parts A and B. Then question 5 says, what do you think was the most interesting thing that you learned? And then it says to summarize question number 6. Then you can give me your opinions about things, a little bit more subjective thoughts on the whole process. So make sure you're following that format and you only answer the questions that you are required to answer. Let's go back up to the read assignment, which is where I was. So that's what the do assignment is. And then, of course, you can reflect in the open forum, and others can give other opinions. And for sure, when you're reflecting or giving comments on other people's opinions, make sure you're using your netiquette. Now, here's something special. Alpha Group. Of course, the hybrid class will actually see part of your presentation this week, but for the full online class, you should be able to post your final presentation and any handouts that you need to give to the class for the group presentation review. So all the Alpha Group members have to post your presentations. I'll show you where everyone can go download the assignments. If you go back to the main page, look under Spring 2011 Group Assignment Presentation Areas. So in this particular case, Group 21, Monique, Jocelyn, Ashley, and Morgan have all worked pretty diligently on their first presentation. What everyone else has to do is they have to go to this link where it says Group Project 1. And next week, for this week is where you would actually go. And when they finish posting the assignment sometime midweek, you can actually download by going here and just clicking on whatever the form is and download the PowerPoint presentation, and you can review it and give feedback, and then you can write your mini paper. But that's not due until next week. So you don't have to do it now, but I would encourage you to download the presentation once they post it and take a look at the presentation and direct any questions you may have to Group A members. And you can direct all the questions in the form here. Going back. So that's for the group assignments. You do the reflects, and of course the reflect will be open later on this week. Here are your objectives for the week. We're learning more terminology. We're especially learning terms as it pertains to claims and facts and intelligent design. Be able to summarize these key themes, etc. Here are your readings. I think you'll kind of check them out again about citations, a little bit about online discussions. I think I have a YouTube video this time. Gave you a couple of things on online etiquette. I need for you to make sure that you're being respectful for one another. Then, of course, you have to read the textbook assignment. And again, I just repeated the link or URL from last week. And last but not least, this is optional, only if you want to get ahead. In 2 weeks, we'll be starting the next article. So if you like to read ahead, I know some of you do, we're going to be assigning issue 8 in the textbooks, Do Cell Phones Cause Cancer? So I have both the issue assignment as well as an article. Looking at the activity assignments, there are no points for you to do the reading. We just kind of went through it. The Think assignment is worth 10 points. It is due Wednesday. We'll go over the Think assignment in a second. Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. or midnight. The Seek assignment is also due. That's where you have to post your add to the URLs on Intelligent Design. It's worth 5 points. The first one's worth 10. The Do assignment is worth 15 points this week. That's the mini paper that has to be completed by Saturday at noon or sometime on Saturday afternoon. If you want the exact points, post it before the deadline of noon. It's worth 15 points. And then, of course, the Reflect is worth 5 points. Excuse me. It's due on Sunday evening at midnight. Total 35 points this week. This is some involved work, so in addition to the class time, after we do the presentations, you still have a lot of work to do. Make sure you follow that. That's if you're in the hybrid. Otherwise, if you're online, it may take you approximately 4 to 6 hours this week. Maybe less than that. I may have overcompensated, but it's a little different if you can't type. So, and don't forget, be prepared. Group Alpha, Group 1, you're doing your presentations online or either in class and still posting it online if you are in the hybrid course. Let's go take a quick look at the assignment for this week. I particularly want to pay attention to week 5, Think. Read the instructions. I'm going to start there. You're doing a little bit of role playing, and you're going to play 4 roles. Someone's going to be a starter. Someone's going to be an optimist and pessimist, one or both, either or. The good side or bad side of the issue. One person's going to be the investigative reporter, and then there's going to be a person to wrap everything up. So each time in each discussion group, you're going to have to assume one of these roles. Read the instructions on how to do it. So in essence, let's say we start a forum discussion. The first person will post something and say, let's see, the first person will log on and claim and identify themselves as a starter, and they'll begin a discussion. Okay, then the second person will look at that question, and then they'll take an optimistic or a pessimistic view, and they'll write about it according to the question that was started by the person. The third person will then accept the role of investigator, and then they'll respond to either or both sides, and they'll do some investigation and give that information and provide that information on a form. And then the fourth person will respond in that form. And these are four different people. You can't all assume the same role in the same discussion. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 different persons. The fourth person would be the wrapper, the person that wraps up, summarizes this whole entire discussion link. I think someone's already started. Let's see if they can give you a quick hint. And of course, gotta love you, Carol, early starter. So Carol indicated when she started this because she said add a new topic. She was the starter for this conversation. It looks like someone has already responded. I believe it's Herbert. So Carol said, I personally do not believe that teaching intelligent design in the public schools is such a big deal. I doubt the topic would pose any serious threat. So she's now posing the question. She was the starter. Herbert came on board, and he is now taking the optimist role. See how he indicated optimist, his answer. So no one else can be an optimist. No one else has to be a pessimist either. You can simply just go on to the next portion. So taking the optimistic view, Herbert has now responded accordingly. So you all will begin to get points for the way that for each role that you take on. So the next person that will post in this dialogue discussion, according to the question that Carol posted, would be the investigator, and then the person after that would be the wrapper. So I hope that begins to make a little sense. Now here's the trick. Carol, you've now played the role of starter. You now also have to play the role of the optimist and pessimist on the next discussion. Then after that, Carol, you have to take another role as the investigative reporter. And then Carol, last but not least, on someone else's question, you then have to be the wrapper. So you all have to pay attention. This is involved. You should start early. And I wish you luck on that. It's kind of involved, but you will really get a chance to explore and be objective as well as subjective on the matter of intelligent design and really enhance and practice those skills that we've been rehearsing for the past couple of weeks on critical thinking. So I kind of excited about this particular project. I like it. And we can discuss it more in a hybrid class, but on the online class group, I'll be happy to have more discussions and questions and clarify for you as we need to. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's go back. Come on, slow, slow. The Seek assignment's real simple. You're simply posting an article. See, Carol, you're on the money. Carol's got an article out there. Take a look at it. It's an actual interesting article. I read it earlier. More points to you, Carol. I think I've already graded that on top of that. And then, of course, the due assignment is where you actually have to do the mini papers, your article, issue review. You have to submit. Carol, I don't think you've done that part yet. No. But it is due real soon. So you get all week. You have until Saturday at noon to everyone do your due assignment. And then, of course, reflect. And I like for people to actually reflect on each other's ideals this week. So once someone does a particular reflect, I think I've made it open to where other people can comment. And that's especially clear where I want you to use your netiquette. And then after that, make sure that everyone, unless you're in Group A, everyone go to Group Project 1, click here, and you should be looking for the PowerPoint presentation that they're going to give in class on Wednesday, or that should be posted for the online class for Wednesday. That's it. You still have other work to do. I did open up the Reflect late for week 4, so if you haven't already done it, make sure you go off and do it sometime this week. I'll give you a little breathing space. That's about it for me. You all have a great week. Look forward to working with you. If you have any questions, be sure to email me. Don't get behind. And if something's coming up, you need to let me know. Not be the last person, but the first. And I should be posting up your your quarterly grade reports maybe by this weekend. I think my deadline is Friday. Have a great one, everyone. Take care.